Okay, we'll start with some questions.
Good morning.
Hello.
Something going on here today?
Your Admiral Levine.
Cliff, can you just maybe update us on your look for a GM shortlist? Do you have a shortlist at this point?
There will be meetings that take place in the upcoming weeks. Gord Kirk will be conducting all the interviews when they start to take place. And obviously anybody whose team is currently still playing, that team won't be asked for permission to talk to a manager until after their final team game, whenever that may be in the playoffs. So the process isn't ongoing yet.
Assuming, what if you can't hire the GM in time for September? You're still running the show with Paul Maurice be your head coach?
Well, first of all, I started my career with the Montreal Canadiens back in 1956, and I thought it was fitting that my last game as an NHL general manager was in Montreal last Saturday night. There will be a new general manager here.
Cliff, Brian Burke seems to have softened his stance. Before he said he had no interest in it. Last Thursday in Regina, he said there's a remote chance he might become the Leafs GM.
Well, I don't believe that we have talked to the Anaheim club about Brian's potential freedom to come here to Toronto. So, I can't make any comment on that. Believe me, the interview process has not started as yet.
Why would you wait until the playoffs are over to ask for permission to talk to anybody you're interested in?
I think you have to take a step back and put yourself in position of another team. With someone coming to you to ask for permission, when you're going in the playoffs, and in most cases it's unbelievably important to that team financially, it's just not the proper thing to do.
Will Paul Maurice's fate be up to the next GM? Is that what you're
Yes.
Would it be your recommendation to the new GM that he should kind of retain Paul Maurice?
I think we'll have discussions, but you can be sure of one thing, that the person coming in is going to be a strong hockey person, and he's going to have very definite opinions of his own.
Cliff, Paul told us he was disappointed with 3 or 4 players in particular on his team. Do you feel the same way?
Well, each year in hockey, some players have good years and some players have less than good years, and that's never changed, never will change. And you're always disappointed in some players when you don't make the playoffs, particularly when you don't make them. In Paul's case, coaching 2 years in a row, and in our case, overall 3 years in a row.
Seems to be major reshaping of the team. Is it safe to say that probably won't begin until the middle part of June, around that time, whatever decisions are made about, all the options that are there?
Well, as far as player personnel decisions go, they're under my jurisdiction completely right now until such time as a new person comes on board. And we have a plan. We know what we'd like to try to accomplish. When it gets to the point that I turn the team over to the new person coming in, I hope I will have saved him at least 6 months of work to familiarize himself with the team. So what has to be done in whatever time frame will be done.
Cliff, is there any interest in moving up in the upcoming draft at all for yourself?
Well, we moved up in the last 24 hours, and our chance to win the lottery moved up from 3.6% to 4.7% now that we'll be picking before Phoenix. So I think my history dictates that I'll explore all options, all possibilities, whatever they may be, to try to improve the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we'll just have to see, first of all, see what happens in the lottery tonight.
Cliff, at the trade deadline, you said you wanted to have a very different team come October, but has your opinion changed on some players given the drive that was shown after February 26th?
Well, in the sports business, your opinion changes on players periodically, for sure. And there were some players who I thought performed well, particularly after the trade deadline, and but the overall picture hasn't changed. There'll be a number of new players in the Leaf lineup come the first league game next October.
Cliff, you had said that obviously out of respect with some of the teams going into the playoffs right now that you're going to hold back on for maybe asking permission to chat with them. Are we fair to assume then that maybe the guy that you would like the most is with the team currently?
Well, everybody in the league was working until last night. Now, 14 of those general managers are not. So, anyhow, Gord Kirk will be handling the process, the interview process, and it'll happen in the appropriate fashion.
How much consultation will you have, Cliff, with Gord once he has a short list?
I think that between Gord and the board of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, the decision will be made. Obviously, I'll have recommendations as to what route they should take. And there may be a number of people out there that may not be as interested in the situation here in Toronto as you may think. So who knows?
Sorry, my apologies. What's your message to the fans who've suffered through this team for the past 3 years?
Message is simple. The team's going to get better. It's going to be a team starting next October that they're going to become excited about and be able to become proud about again. It doesn't happen overnight. Back when I was in Calgary, and we looked up the road at the Edmonton Oilers, I had lunch with a rancher one day, and I said, boy, we got to straighten this thing out in a hurry. He said, Cliff, the corral is full of horses, but you can only bring one into the barn at a time. And so that's basically it. It's